National movement, the early phase 1885 to 19. The national movement in India forms an important epoch in history as it helped to well diverse people and sections of society into one nation. All sections came together to not only fight against the British rule but also to build a new country. Early associations. Indian Mutiny, also called Sipai Mutiny or First War of Independence, widespread but unsuccessful rebellion against British rule in India in 1857 to 59, began in Meerut by Indian troops in the service of the British East India Company. It spread to Delhi, Agra, Kanpur and Lucknow. They wanted a democratic political order and they wanted at the same time to point out the exploitation and injustice caused by the British rule and fight to end it. This was the beginning of the national movement in India. The seeds of new consciousness began in the second half of the 19th century. The educated Indians, after studying the nature of the British rule and its impact on India, became more and more critical of the British policies in India. In 1866, Dadabhai Nauroji organized the East India Association in London to discuss the Indian question. During 1866 to 1885, various leaders like Sunindranath Banerjee, Justice Mahadev Govind Ranade, Badruddin Tyabji, K.C. Telang, and G. Subramanyam organized associations in Calcutta, Pune, Bombay, and Madras to discuss the problems faced by the Indians in those provinces. They worked with the idea that the people should be sovereign, a modern consciousness, and a key feature of nationalism. In other words, they believed that the Indian people should be empowered to take decisions regarding their affairs. Many of these intellectuals also led campaigns against some British policies like taxes on textiles, racial discrimination against Indians, repressive laws against Indian newspapers, etc. They realized the importance of discussing the policies of the government and organizing campaigns to change them. The Indian National Congress, the moderate phase, 1885 to 1905. All these provincial nationalistic intellectuals came together in the first session of the Indian National Congress at Bombay in December 1885. It was presided over by W.C. Banerjee and attended by 72 delegates from different parts of India. A.O. Hume, a retired British official, also played an important role in establishing the Congress. The leaders of the Congress realized that the foremost task before them was to build a nationalist consciousness among the diverse people of India and unite them. At the same time, they realized that this unity could be built only by accommodating the special requirements of different regions and religious communities of India. They therefore decided to hold the Congress sessions in different parts of the country every year and not to pass any resolution which was objected to by any one religious group. The second major objective of the early Congress was to create a common political platform or program around which political workers in different parts of the country could gather and conduct their political activities, educating and mobilizing people on an all India basis. This was to be accomplished by taking up those grievances and fighting for those rights which Indians had in common in relation to the rulers. They studied the grievances of people and wrote appeals to the government and also used them to educate the people about their political rights. The third major objective was to promote democratic ideals and functioning in India. The Indian National Congress functioned democratically, discussing all issues and trying to evolve consensus or sometimes voting also. In 1886, delegates to the Congress numbering 436 were elected by different local organizations and groups, indicating its popularity in 1 year. During the first 20 years, the Congress was led by the leaders who are known as moderate nationalists. The moderates urged the government to introduce a number of reforms. They demanded a greater voice for Indians in the government and in administration. They demanded that Indians be placed in high positions in the government. For this purpose, it called for civil service examinations to be held in India as well, not just in London. The Congress passed many resolutions on the salt tax, treatment of Indian laborers abroad, and the sufferings of forest dwellers caused by an interfering forest administration. The early leaders were convinced of the need for national industrial development to end poverty in India. The moderate leaders reached out to people in different parts of the country by holding lectures, meetings, and tours. They believed that the British were committed to freedom and justice and would accept their demands when expressed properly. They carried on their agitation through newspapers, public lectures. They passed resolutions, led deputations to submit petitions to the government. In short, it may be said, they adopted a policy of pray, petition, and protest. Often they were not able to persuade the government to change, but in the process formulated Indian opinion on important issues. This is very important for the future growth of Indian national movement. Extremist phase 1905 to 1920. Swadeshi movement. With the start of the Swadeshi movement around 1903, the Indian national movement took a major leap forward. The government partitioned Bengal in 1905. Several protest meetings were held and a call was given for boycotting English cloth and salt. Women refused to wear foreign bangles and use foreign utensils. Washermen refused to wash foreign clothes. This spontaneous unity of diverse social groups is the basis of nationalism. The early nationalists were successful in germinating it. There was also a call for boycott of all government institutions like schools, colleges, courts, etc. People set up Swadeshi schools and colleges and parallel courts in which they settle their mutual disputes. The Swadeshi movement gave tremendous impetus to Indian industry. In fact, beginnings were made in the manufacture of Swadeshi salt, sugar, matches and other products on a large scale. The movement gave a stimulus to P.C. Roy's Bengal Chemical Works and encouraged Jamshedji Tata of Bombay to open his famous steel plant in Bihar. The movement also created tremendous demand for indigenous goods. The textile industry of India in particular received a great impetus from the Swadeshi movement. The moderates and the extremists. In the next Congress session 1905, the extremist nationalists led by Tilak, Bipin Chandrapal and Lala Lajpat Rai were in favor of extending the movement to the rest of India and to demand for full-fledged freedom or Swaraj. Bal Gangadhar Tilak gave the famous slogan, "Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it." The old leaders, called moderate nationalists, wanted to continue on a more gradual pace of movement and felt that the masses were as yet not ready for a full-scale movement for freedom and self-rule. On the day of partition of Bengal, the First World War, 1914 to 1919. The First World War broke out in 1914 with Britain, France, Russia on one side and Germany and its allies on the other side. It lasted for nearly 5 years till Germany was finally defeated. This caused unprecedented human suffering and destruction. As the war ended, an era of revolutions started in Europe. A socialist revolution took place in Russia, in which peasants, workers, and soldiers, led by communists, deposed the emperor and abolished landlordism and private ownership of land and factories. They also advocated equality among nations and freedom for all nations subjugated by colonial powers. In India, the war brought great suffering for the common people as the British tried to raise funds and resources for the war by raising taxes, exporting food and other necessities to the armies. This increased the discontent among the people against the British rule. As the news of the Russian Revolution spread, it too inspired people that unjust rulers can be got rid of and a society can be built with equality and justice for all. Everyone expected that the British will accept the just demands for democratic rule in India and bring in the constitutional reforms. However, this was not to be, and the British introduced harsher laws. It was under these conditions when the discontent of the people was increasing on British were getting more repressive that Mahatma Gandhi came back from South Africa and joined the Indian freedom movement. Krishna Patrika of Machilipatnam. Krishna Patrika was started in Machilipatnam in 1902. Mutturi Krishnarao was one of the founders of the paper and from 1902 was associated with it as its sub-editor. In 1907, he became its editor and continued to serve the journal till he died in 1945. The Krishna Patrika carried on publicity for all the phases of India's struggle for freedom, like the Vande Mataram movement, the Home Rule movement, the Non-Cooperation movement, the Civil Disobedience movement, and the Quit India movement. The Krishna Patrika influenced not only the urbanly educated elite but also the rural masses. Both the magazine and its editor quoted the wrath of the British rulers several times. Few lines about Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi had born in a Hindu family on 2nd October 1869 at Porbandar in Gujarat. His father, Karamchand Uttamchand Gandhi, was Diwan of Porbandar. Mahatma Gandhi was the leader of the Indian independence movement against British rule. On 4th September 1888, he left for London for higher studies. He was a civil rights activist in South Africa from 1893 to 1914, fighting against color discrimination. He returned to India in 1915 and joined the Indian National Congress. Gandhiji started the first movement against British rule, Champaran Satyagraha, in 1917. He launched non-cooperation movement on 1st August 1920 after Jallianwala Bagh incident. He had started SALT or Dandi March on 12th March 1930 and continued till 6th April 1930. Nathuram Godse, a right-wing advocate of Hindu nationalism, assassinated Gandhi on 30th January 1930. About Jawaharlal Nehru. Jawaharlal Nehru was born on 14 November 1888 in Allahabad. His father's name was Pandit Motilal Nehru and mother's name was Swarupa Rani. Pandit Nehru practiced law from the Inner Temple, London. Nehru was an eminent personality of Indian freedom struggle. He became the first Prime Minister of independent India. Nehru brought many social and political reforms and also encouraged India's industrialization growth. Jawaharlal Nehru was one of the great personalities India ever had. Nehru met Mahatma Gandhi in 1916 and became affected by his ideology of non-violence. He also focused on improving science and technology and upgrading the status of women in the country. Jawaharlal Nehru died on 27th May 1964 due to cardiac arrest. Few lines about Subhash Chandra Bose. Subhash Chandra Bose had born on 23rd January 1897. He was the fourth in the Indian Civil Services exam in 1919, but resigned 23rd January 1921. Bose was the president of the Indian National Congress in 1939. Indian National Army, with the help of Japan, successfully took control of Andaman and Nicobar Island in 1942. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose was one of the heroes of Indian freedom struggle. His political differences with Mahatma Gandhi led to his resignation and formation of a new party, All India Forward Bloc. INA freed Andaman and Nicobar Islands from the British and renamed it Swaraj and Shahid Islands. Netaji died of a plane crash on 18th August 1945 in Taihoku, Japan. But this fact has no ground proof. Netaji's ideologies and thoughts are a source of inspiration in modern times. Netaji was a great legend who sacrificed his life and family for his motherland and died for his nation. A big salute to our freedom fighters. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe.